Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes to renting versus selling and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we talk about something that can help you make money, maybe save you a little money, maybe change the way you look at something that will make you money. Investments, flipping houses, what have you. Today we're going to talk about mortgages and how we can help you save money when getting a mortgage. And we have one of our amazing sponsors, Max Fish, with Nationwide Mortgage. So welcome, Max.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yes. So the last time we met, we were talking, which was like not even a month ago, we were talking about Hometown Heroes, and they had, was it like $10 million?
They had, the last time we were talking, I think it was more. We were like, hey, I think
no, but how much did they have to start?
Oh, they had to start July 1st. It was $100 million.
100 million. And then when we met, which was like a few weeks in, like 3 weeks into
it was
that.
like halfway gone.
It was halfway gone.
Yeah.
And as of today, it is.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Actually, as of last week, it was like 52 or 53 days, 100 million gone. It's almost $2 million a day.
That's crazy. Now, this money does have to be paid back. You don't have to pay an interest rate on it or anything of that such, but if you go to sell the home or refinance, you do need to pay that back.
Correct.
Right?
Or if you move out of the property, move your homestead and rent that property.
You have to pay it back.
Correct.
That's interesting. You know, that's a new thing that we weren't told.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was something.
How do they catch that?
It definitely was something that it was in the fine print. It wasn't being told to everybody. But we made sure that our clients understood that, because what's going to happen here in the next 12 to 24 months when there's opportunities for refinance, which there will be, by the way, everybody.
And Max, so here's one of your ways to make money. Max is offering to refinance your house for free.
No of any bank costs.
Right. So it's just hard costs. What are hard costs? Let's
title company fees,
which we can't control.
State and county recording fees, anything that has to do with prepaid insurance or property taxes to rebuild an escrow account.
But you're going to get that back. So let's make that clear.
So they'll wash that.
Yeah. So a lot of times when people sell their house, right, they have to pay their taxes. And if you have a mortgage,
correct,
you're going to get that money back at closing. So a lot of times I say, well, let's not include that in our.
Yeah, so if we're not including that stuff, then we're just talking about title fees and state and county fees. Because me and my office, we're not charging any underwriting, processing, appraisals.
Oh wow,
none
even
of
the
that
appraisal.
For returning clients in refis, we want to help people, make their home buying process and their home mortgage process more affordable.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say keep Max in mind if you're thinking about buying a house, refinancing. He can help you with refinance, people. So don't think that you need to go out there and buy a house, because he will do a refinance for you. And I would say let's embed something in this today that when you play this back out on your social media, YouTube, that if they say some kind of special word, you give them some kind of a discount. What would you do? Let's give them like a secret word.
A secret word to call me for a discount. Let's go with.
They have to come up with this word. You can't just.
Let's go with chicken.
What's your son's name?
Let's do chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
If you call me and you say chicken, then I'll know that you guys were listening, and I'll give you a discount.
Okay.
On a mortgage.
All right. And what kind of discount can we look for?
I'll take care of your appraisal fee.
All right.
So if you say chicken.
That can cost like $650.
Yeah.
If you're buying a duplex, it could be $750.
And all it costs you is to say chicken on the phone.
Okay. So. Bok, bok, bok.
I love
that.
I love that.
I just balked. Okay, so that's great.
Yeah.
So when somebody's looking to buy, right, there's all these different kinds of programs. So now that Hometown Heroes is gone, what's the next best thing for them to look for to help them to get some money?
Yeah, so I think the next best thing, especially heading into the environment that we are, right, with the high interest rates, there's a lot of programs that are making it more affordable. If we're talking about just liquid money being helped at closing, obviously, seller concessions are always a thing that can help with closing costs. But as far as programs are concerned, so we have 3% first-time home buyer for conventional. Typically, you need 5% or more.
Okay, let's talk about 3%.
Sure.
Because there's some caveats to that. Would first it be you can't own a home for the last 3 years?
So you have to be a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't.
But not first-time home buyer ever.
No. So what qualifies?
I want to make sure that people understand this because
Sure.
I actually had somebody once call me and say to me, I thought you had to put 20% down when you buy a house. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
there's a lot
that's
of
a misconception.
Sure.
And so people don't realize what constitutes, like I had somebody the other day, what's interest rates? I said, well, I don't know. It depends on your credit score. It depends on how much you're putting down. It
Great
depends on,
answer.
are you a first-time home buyer? It depends on,
Yeah.
like, there's so many different contributing factors that, like, if you're a 700 versus a 720, that can make a difference.
100%.
If you're buying first-time home buyer versus not are you VA? Are you eligible?
Yeah.
Are you FHA? Why would you go FHA versus VA? Maybe you have more debt.
Yep.
Debt to income ratio, you're allowed to have a higher debt to income ratio. Now,
What-
I'm bringing this up as a realtor because I want people to understand as a realtor, I understand this. So
Yeah.
one of the things I say is that when you're hiring a realtor, I feel like I talk Japanese. I honestly do. I feel like I'm not talking chicken.
Yeah.
Bok, bok, bok. I'm talking Japanese, right? But
Yeah.
when you hire somebody, you want them to translate for you, and you really don't want to be bothered.
Yeah,
You want them to just guide you and tell you what you should do.
sure.
Otherwise, I think it's like create a migraine.
Which, by the way, is super awesome that you know the stuff that you do about the mortgage business, because I work with a lot of agents in the area that don't have an idea of the types of programs that are out, what's going on behind the scenes. That's very valuable as an
Can
agent
I tell you
to know
something?
that stuff.
I have to bring this up. So
Sure.
I listed a condo the other day.
Oh, every horror story
Yeah.
starts with that.
Yeah. So, okay, you know what? Maybe we should do commercials and then
And
should
then
come
we'll talk
back
about the condo
because I
horror
feel like the
stories.
condo thing, let me run with where this goes to, and it's mind-blowing.
Please do.
So,
Please do.
So we're going to see Max's awesome commercial, and then we're going to see our title sponsor, and then we will be right back to talk about what blows my mind.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At Title Brothers LLC, our mission is to give you the best closing experience anywhere in the country. Founded in 2020 by Adam Lohman and Josh Wiseman, here at Title Brothers, we're your one-stop shop for residential real estate, title insurance, title and escrow services, real estate closing, and due diligence services. While primarily located in South Florida, we also host dozens of closings throughout the state and even electronically as requested. To contact the Title Brothers, call us at 954-995-4988 or visit our website and get a quick quote today.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at lauraess.com. And now back to the show.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura. I am your host, Laura Sanders. So first, just want to let you know that I am a realtor. I'm with RE/MAX, have been for almost 23 years. So if you're looking for a top agent, something that can help you to make sure that your home's looking in the best light possible to get the most money, I'm also offering second mortgages at 0% for the first year to help you get your home ready. So give me a call at 954-650-0827. Let me tell you a story as I'm
Please.
choking to death. So I listed a condo.
Okay.
I always get the budget first because I always want to make
Beautiful.
sure what the reserves look like. Reviewed the budget. It was not a good budget. The budget was under 10%.
Yeah.
So under 10%, you're going to either need to do a 75, 15, 10,
Yep.
or you're going to have to do 25% down. So the agent asks me for the budget. Well, I have it attached in our MLS. But I said, it's in the MLS, it's attached. The agent's married to a to a mortgage broker. The realtor calls me back and says the budget's good. I said, it's not that it's not good, it's just not good for what
They're
we
trying to
need
do it like
to
the lending.
put
Yeah.
3% down or 5% down.
Yeah.
So long story short, he sends me over an FHA deal. Wait, that gets better than 3%. Now,
FHA on the condo?
and let's talk about FHA and condos.
Yeah. So
A year ago, you could do spot approvals.
very different.
Today you can't. Let's
Hard.
talk
Do you
about
know why?
I know why.
Tell me.
I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
You like this?
Yeah,
This is
I love it.
exciting
I
to
love
you,
it.
isn't
Yeah, I love it.
You're
I love
like,
it.
how?
You do all the
Let
mortgage
me tell
talking. I
you.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to let you do it. Okay, so you cannot do FHA spot approvals anymore. It needs to be on the already approved list. So tell me if I'm answering this right.
Okay.
It's like I'm taking the SAT.
Yeah.
Because, and to find things that are already on the approved list, there might be one thing left in Broward County, maybe two.
Yeah.
Okay, is because it's discrimination to request people to get approved by the association. Am I wrong?
I've never been more proud of you. That's awesome that you know that, because I'm telling you, like less than
I talk about this stuff in my
0.5% of
sleep.
people know
come
that.
on, I talk about this stuff in my
I know, but I'm
sleep.
telling you, like nobody knows that. Really, nobody knows that.
I know, and when I talk, these agents, they're like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, no, I make this stuff up.
So pretty much just to
Yeah,
reiterate.
you cannot have an application process where it makes you have to apply, because if you have a criminal background, that's discrimination.
Correct.
You're
So-
discriminating against people with criminal backgrounds.
So in the verbiage of the bylaws, it would be called first right of refusal.
Okay.
If the HOA has first right of refusal, they look at it as discriminatory.
Okay, but what if it doesn't have first right of refusal, but they have an application and you have to apply to the association? And if you have a background and they say, we won't take you,
It can't.
and a credit score
It
requirement.
can't spell that out. If it spells that out in their bylaws, which there's like one condo association that I've seen that left that out of their bylaws.
Well, like this one has a 700 credit score requirement. It's also a 55 plus.
Yeah.
Which I think is also discriminatory, isn't it? 55 plus?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list of it being of things that can be considered discriminatory. And honestly, you know, a background check, if you really get into the weeds, is it discriminatory? Is it not? I mean, that's up for debate. But the problem is that FHA looks at it as it is, and what happens is, even if there are banks out there that are still trailing, that are doing these spot approvals with this guideline in place, they're not. Those loans are unsellable. HUD will. If they buy it, they're gonna sell it back.
But isn't it crazy that his wife actually like let him send me an FHA?
It's you
I
know.
mean, it's not like you're just writing an FHA on your own. Like you're married to the lender.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the telltale sign of somebody who's just not up to date with.
So when he sent me an
What's going
FHA deal, this is where the rough Laura comes out,
Oh,
right?
jeez.
I was
I've
like,
seen this before.
No, come on. I said, what did I say? I said, you know, I'm very concerned right now. I said, because I'm here to protect my clients, right? I
Yeah.
said, I'm very concerned right now that you sent me an FHA deal on a condo, and that and I didn't even know he was married to a lender yet. And she wasn't even the one that wrote it, but he still had her look at the
okay,
budget.
okay.
I said, I'm very concerned on whoever this lender is that would actually tell you can write an FHA deal on a non-approved condo. Any lender would have told you that's not on the approved budget, and an FHA is probably not going to work. So I'm very concerned on whoever your lender is. Like now I feel like we're just throwing, I'm going to say spaghetti on the wall. Not
Yeah.
throw spaghetti on the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah, which is one thing that I tell everybody that works for me and that I associate with. I do not throw things against the wall and see if they stick. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, in this business, your yes has to be yes and your no has to be no. You know, if you say something can be done, it's because it can be done.
Right.
You know,
That's important.
it's very important. And unfortunately, just like in your situation, the reputation in the community matters. If you're just throwing offers like that and you have an agent such as yourself, that's like, what are you doing? This isn't.
But could you imagine
This is
though,
worth like
if you get two agents like this together,
they go under contract
and you
and
go into contract, like
sellers and buyers are screwed. Part of my
This is-
language. You know, they are. I mean, really, you know what, and that's what separates, right? That's why I think it's so good that you know all of these things about mortgage, because there's not a lot of agents that do.
you would think I was married to a mortgage person.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I spew this out.
Next time for the mortgage segment, I'm just going to interview you.
Okay, why don't you ask me a question? Let's see if I pass the test. People don't understand. The test for your mortgage, super hard.
It is pretty.
I got it on the first try. I let it go once I had. So what happened was before you were in the business, they changed the guidelines and they changed the renewal of the and at the time I'd had a new baby and I was like, I already had a mortgage, I already had real estate license. I have a license as a therapist, which I went to school for a very long time, and I had an insurance license, and I was like, okay, I got to pick and choose like how many continuing educations that all fall on March 31st biannually, like can I do?
Well, I think you chose the right one.
I kept two: therapy and real estate.
Yeah.
So give me a pop quiz. Let's go. Let's see.
All right. So let's start with what are the 4 main loan types?
Oh well, we have conventional.
Okay.
We have FHA. We have VA.
All right.
And then we have a non-conforming.
USDA. Would you throw that out there?
Okay, so let's talk about let's
Would you throw that out there?
Not out where I am.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what. So I learned about USDA recently, and I still don't know enough about it. But I don't need to worry about that. I don't need to have anybody talk Japanese to me about USDA because
USDA
you know what? I don't live in an area that would constitute USDA.
You're right. So
let's go back, okay? When you're realtors, right? When you're working with a realtor and they're writing a contract and you're doing a non-conforming, which we would call that portfolio loan.
Yeah.
You better make sure that you're not checking off conventional, and they do.
Yeah. So
then when they don't qualify, you can lose their deposit, your client's deposit.
Yeah. Well, here's a pop quiz. Ready?
Oh.
2 types of non-conforming loans.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's one of them. What's another one?
Another type of non-conforming.
There's one more like mainstream one.
Mainstream of non-conforming. Well, it's probably
self-employed people that don't.
The bank statements.
Bank statements. Good. Yeah. DSCR is one of them. Bank statements.
See, I would think bank statements still would be some sort of a conventional loan, but again, you see.
Well, they typically follow conventional guidelines other than how income is calculated.
Right.
That's like
but even in a conventional income, not calculated right, could still get you out of the contract.
Yeah.
So to me, if you check conventional, it's not a problem. But you have to remember, so like bank statements, I guess that wouldn't be a Freddie or a Fannie.
No.
Right. So they wouldn't go by Freddie or Fannie guidelines. A lot of people don't understand about Freddie and Fannie.
Yeah.
And what that is. So sometimes you're talking to people and they're like, who are these people?
Yeah, we did a segment on it, I think a few months ago on the show.
We did.
Yeah, pretty much Fannie and Freddie are the 2 entities that buy conventional loans. They back conventional loans. So they're both conventional. They just have slightly different guidelines and they package loans differently, with different investors.
And I guess the question is like who manages them? Like the government?
Yeah, I mean they're privately managed. HUD would be, FHA would be managed by the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you use the words HUD.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a HUD home? Have you ever seen a HUD? I say run, Forrest, run as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Like,
it's because they own it, right?
A HUD home? Who owns it? FHA? They took it back from a VA or an FHA deal, or
no? So like the Department of Housing and Urban Development owns
take back.
Yeah.
Okay, because they make you jump through hoops. Like they're like, you need to turn on the water. You need to do this. You need to do that.
Yeah.
Now I will tell people that if you are behind, right? Like the water is like behind and hasn't paid, usually they will turn on the water for you.
Yeah.
Usually. Like
it is hard to manage with them though.
It is very hard because you are trying to convince the water department because God forbid, what if you have, give you an example. One time I bought a house from actually a friend of mine who's a realtor.
Yeah.
But it was a short sale and he moved out 4 years before it ever was like going into foreclosure. Like I was like, you could have lived there all this time for free. I end up buying it from him through a short sale. I go to turn the water on. The rats ate all the poly piping up in the attic. It was poly pipe, so they ate it. So when
How long ago was this?
Oh God, it had to be. It was actually we closed a day or 2 before my dad died. So God, it had to be like 8-9 years ago.
8-9 years ago.
Yeah. So what's funny is that it was in Boca.
Okay.
So I had to go to Boynton to turn on the water. So from the time that I went from Boynton to Boca, it was pouring through the ceiling.
Oh my.
And the guy from the water department's like, I don't know what's going on inside that house, but the thing's spinning. And it was spinning fast, like super fast. Yeah, it was spinning really, really fast. Needless to say, I mean,
buying properties like that.
You have to turn on the water before you buy something like that. You can't just buy these homes are sitting vacant. You don't know how long they've been sitting vacant. There's no seller's disclosure. Like
now, correct me if I'm wrong. If a house is owned by HUD, and you go to put in a contract, you have to submit it into like a pot, right? It's like they say, hey, I'm accepting offers up until this
So
time.
they say the first
like a
20
lottery?
days usually. No, not necessarily.
Oh, they're reviewing
no.
them.
Yeah, they review them. Listen, I don't know how much more sophisticated, but from the last time that I wrote an offer on one, God, it's been 7-8 years, and I swore to myself I would
staying
never
away
do
from
it. So originally, when I first started doing it, you had to have a key form, and your broker had an actual key.
heard of that, yeah.
Like it's an actual, like everybody has the same key that is all over, and it's like your broker has a HUD key.
I've heard about that.
Now I don't think they have. I think now it's just like you put
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know, they've changed a little bit. At the time, I had to pay out of my pocket to send via FedEx documents to them.
Yeah.
It was the biggest nightmare. And in the end, like I spent all this time and money. I remember I spent like 5 hours on a Saturday doing all this paperwork. And it's like, I don't advise it.
Those are hard to get financing on. They're hard to, because guys, just so you know, with financing, you can't buy a property. This is a big misconception.
Okay.
People say, is it okay that the roof is old for FHA? You know, people think that there's a difference. For FHA and conventional, there's not that much difference between the appraisals and the approval process, except for
you could have a stain on the ceiling
do the
or
appliances,
damaged fascias.
Yeah, are the appliances working? Is there peeling paint, and is the fascia messed up?
That you can have on conventional.
Yes, but in FHA, those are the three differences. But if your roof is old, guys,
as long as it passes to get
it's with
insurance.
It doesn't have anything to do.
If they see a stain on the ceiling for FHA, they're going to want a roofer to provide a report that says that the roof is not leaking.
Correct.
And that will subside. But
they might ask that for conventional too, though.
I haven't seen it, but I have seen it for FHA. Yeah. So I keep a can of Kills in my car.
Yeah.
Upshot Kills and just kill it.
Yeah, or just paint over it.
No, but the Kills it's just a little light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's a big.
But my clients know, like they know, like I'm telling them, like listen, this isn't gonna fly. Like, you know, we're not hiding from anybody anything. You know, well, except for FHA. No, I'm just kidding.
My point is it's just very hard to finance properties that are dilapidated.
Right.
You know, and so some people are like, this is a great deal. You know, I just had a client that, you know, was buying.
Has to have a kitchen.
Buying a condo, great deal. And the appraiser walked in there for 2 seconds and then walked out and called us and was like, hey, I can't appraise this property.
Why?
The smell of mold and just the walls were covered. And it's just, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, whether you're an agent out there or you're a home buyer, you need to make sure that the property is at least in habitable condition, or else these loan products won't take it.
Right. So here's the moral of the story today. The moral of the story is that
It's a lot to know.
There's a lot to know. So you need people that are educated. They know what's going on. They know how to guide you. So Max is definitely your guy for mortgages. He knows the ins and outs. You know, he's actually shocked that I knew some of this. And
it's awesome to me.
Yeah, it's important. And you need to know that, like, I'm even glad that he knew, because see, these other people, they didn't know.
You got to be in the weeds.
So what's the best way to reach you if they're looking for a mortgage besides chicken?
Best way to reach me is by phone. It goes to my personal line every time, 954-729-6933. That's 954-729-6933.
And if you're looking for a top agent, I've been the #1 RE/MAX agent within the top 3 in the last 7 years in the state of Florida. Give me a call at 954-650-0827. And my website is lauraess.com. And I can't wait to see you guys next week and give you some more information to help you save some money. Thanks, and make it a great day.
Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you next week.